we're going to quickly show how to create a map view, show our current location, and also make a point on the map using coordinates. So first thing, we're just going to go into our storyboard. We're going to search down for a map. And this will just use Apple Maps, which works great for our purposes for this. There may be times that you want to use more than Apple Maps, but this works great for us. So I put this on here. I'm just going to add some constraints. Now that I've done this, I have to actually add a couple of frameworks too. So I'm going to click on the project navigator, come in here, and I'm going to add the MapKit framework. And I'm also going to add the core location framework. Now that I've done those two things, if I just build and run, pull that simulator up, you can see that it displays a map, which is just what we wanted to be able to do. Well, now we want to be able to show the user's location. In order to do this, we have to make a few changes. First, we need to make a change to our info.plist. And what we have to do is we have to tell our application when we're actually going to be used. So we're going to add a new one, and we added this NS location when in use description. So basically what that says is we want to be able to use this application. We want to be able to see the map when we're using this application. We have to add a little bit more to that, however, in order to actually get this to work. I'm just going to drag over another project that I was working on just barely to do this. I'm going to grab the exact same thing and then paste it in there. Let's actually bring that back up. This is my little reminder. So now that I've done that, I can go back to my view controller. First, I need to create an outlet from my map view. So let's just shrink that over a little bit so that I can actually access it. I'm just going to call it map view. Now that I've done that, I can come into my view controller. You can see that there's a problem here. So the first thing I need to do is import MapKit, which is a framework. And I need to import core location. Next, I need to actually register for those updates. So I'm going to do a core location manager delegate and mk map view delegate. Now that I've got those two things ready to go, I've got my map view, and now I actually need to create a core location manager object. So we're going to call it my CL location manager. We'll call it location manager. I've created those two things. Now I need to actually go through and create them in code in my implementation file. So we're going to take my location manager and we're going to create a CL location manager. We're going to allocate it and initialize it. And then we're going to set its delegate to self. Now within iOS, after iOS 8, we added some interesting things, which I'll just paste in here and talk about. We added this request when in use authorization. And so we actually have to request and say, hey, I want to be able to track your location while we're in use. Not afterwards, just while we're in use. And then the delegate method for CL location says did update location. Map view actually also has one that we want to be able to check, and it's did update user location. Now what we're doing is when we update the user location, we're going to zoom in to a certain level so that we can see the user's location better. Now if I build and run this, we're missing one thing still. You go to that storyboard. and I need to click on the map view, and then you can see it says shows user location. We're going to check that. Now when I build and run, my simulator comes up, and it first asks me and says, hey, do you want to allow him to use it when it's in the app? I'm going to click allow. And then you can see that my location has appeared up there. You can see down here that the core location is updating. Now if I build and run it again, now when that location updates, now we should want to zoom into that location, but we're still missing one thing. There's our location, but we actually need to set the delegate of the map view, and I'm just going to do that in Storyboard. Come back. Now when I build and run this application, the application opens up, user's location shows up, and we actually zoom into that location, which right now it's just set for Apple. Works out perfect for us. Now one more thing we want to do is we actually want to create a map point somewhere on the map. So I'm going to go back to my viewcontroller.m, and in my view did load, I'm actually just going to paste in some code. And what I'm doing is I'm creating an MK map point annotation. I create a coordinate with a latitude and longitude, and this is of Weber State University where I teach. And then I do point.coordinate for my MK point, and then I add a title and a subtitle, and I tell my map view, hey, add this to the map. I build and run that. And now that that's built and run, we'll see that it drops the point. I can click on the point and says, where am I? I am here, and that's all added in there. Remember, I can use Option in order to zoom around if my simulator wasn't freezing a little bit here and there, it would be okay. But this was a quick tutorial on how to show a map, show a place on a map, add an annotation, and show a user's location.